what a great time in our industry to support our technicians. And it is none better than the Maple Hill Auto Group here with us today. And both Lori Halter is here to moderate the panel. And I want to thank Jeff Daniel as well for helping to put all this together. Lori and Jeff, thank you so much.
Yes, of course. And we can't forget Roger Conan.
Yes. Roger Conan, Lori, has been very instrumental in putting this together. His Support Your Techs initiative has been a great thing for the industry. And, you know, Lori, I look forward to seeing a lot more of what Roger has in store for us.
I agree. It's going to be great.
So, Lori, with that, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you get started.
Great. Well, guys, welcome so much. And thanks again, like we said, to Roger and Jeff for putting this panel together today. What we're finding from the industry and what we're finding is becoming more important overall is retaining and engaging our staff members. And never have we seen that to be more true in the technicians department. So thank you, first of all, for being here. We're going to show you some stats and talk a little bit about how we can help that department become more supportive of their techs. So thank you all for being there. I want to quickly have you each introduce yourself and tell me how long you've been in your position. And Jordan, we'll start with you.
Jordan Smith, Master Volkswagen Technician. I've been here for 15 years.
Okay, Aaron?
Aaron Barry Robinson. I've worked here at Maple Hill for 6.5 years. Currently just reached ASC Master for Subaru.
Very nice. Brittany?
Brittany Parker. I am a Subaru Master Technician, ASE Master Technician. I've been here for 4 years now.
Wonderful. And Jeff, who put our panel together?
I've just started 2 weeks ago.
He's our newest panel member.
For the 40th year again, but it's been a very good industry for me. This is an awesome group of people. Couldn't think of a better platform. Don't have much of a voice, apologize, but this is the core of our business sitting here, and the attention that Roger and Ted and you bring to the table are what makes my job easier, and the people that are with us right now bring it to the forefront. It's an amazing group of talent.
Well, we're very excited to have all of you here today, and it's going to be a great discussion. Victoria, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Victoria Hanley. I am an express tech in the service lane, and I've been here for about 5 months now.
Okay, so you're probably our newest. Rebecca, let us know a little bit about you.
I'm Rebecca Shelton. I run the express team, and I've been here for about 6 months.
Okay, what I love about this panel, what I think is so neat, is we have techs from 6 months to 15 years, well, to 40 plus a year, new years, right, Jeff? Techs across the board. So let's quickly look at a slide that shows what brought about this panel for us. We found this slide, Roger specifically found this slide for us, technician turnover versus tenure. And what was so interesting to us is, as you see, their turnover rate in the first year is close to 50%. So you're looking at the first 12 to 18 months losing half of our techs. Thank you so much, Ted. I think with that in mind, I'd like to go back to our panelists and tell us a bit about what might have helped you. Some of you are within your first year, so let's go to you first. But what might have helped you in your first year, or what is Jeff and his team doing that is helping you stay engaged in your first year? Let's go to the newest first. So Victoria, what would you say have been some of the things that have helped you in your first 5 months in your position?
Just everyone being very nice and very patient with me. Just taking their time to show me things, and even if I ask a million times, they don't get irritated. So that helps a lot. I know that I have all the help that I need.
That's great. Well, and I think we hear that a lot. Training and really having someone who can shadow and kind of be that support person seems to be a really growing theme with this. So let's go to Brittany, because I think you also have been there 6 months. What would you say in your first 6 months have you seen?
It's Rebecca.
I'm sorry, Rebecca. I'm sorry.
You're fine. It's a lot of helping. So like I am able to go to Aaron or Brittany or any of the Subaru techs if I have questions that I can't answer from my techs. If we have things that we look at and we don't know, able to go to them at any given point and say, hey, I need help. And they're like, okay, give me a minute. I'll be over there. And then also the training through Subaru and the other service advisors that I have up front as well. So just being able to go to anyone on this team throughout the entire building and ask, hey, can I grab you for a second? And they're always willing to be there for us.
That is fantastic. Jordan, I want to talk to you because you've been there 15 years, which is pretty incredible. What changes, have you seen any changes? What changes have you seen? And what would you say you has been nice to see over the evolution of the 15 years you've been there?
Well, I had hair when I started, so that was different. When I started, it was you didn't get a lot of help from the people that have been here longer, really knew what was going on as far as tech-wise. I think the flat rate mentality kind of really kicked that into high gear. So it was a lot of struggling through and figuring things out on your own. So now we're really trying to support the younger guys and girls coming through to help them with that stuff so they don't have to sit there spinning their wheels.
Yeah, no, that definitely seems to be the theme, is finding help and all of the support. Aaron, do you have anything to add to this, or what would you say about your experience there?
So I think I agree completely with Victoria and also with Jordan. Having somebody help you and want you to strive better, that was one thing for me that really helped out. I actually knew somebody here that took me under his wing for quite some time, always showing me new things, wanting me to learn things, wanting me to do better. And it helped a lot. It helped keep me interested and made me want to become a tech. That way, when I went to Jeff and said, hey, I want to be a tech, he took that and he knew I was ready to do so, and he pushed me forward to do it.
Well, and I also love one of the things we're talking about here is you having the growth to come forward and say, I'd like this. So I think, Jeff, we're going to come to you in just a minute. I want to talk to Brittany, but, Jeff, I think what I'd like to talk about with you after we hear from Brittany is really, what are you looking for in techs that are ready to grow? How are you helping, support them? But Brittany, the real Brittany, I'd love to hear from you, your experience as well. And especially as a female, have you seen any differences in that? Or is it really just kind of the support and training has been the key?
What was the initial question again? I'm sorry.
In terms of what your experience has been so far, what has your experience been as a tech?
Well, I've worked a few places before here. And of course, you're pretty green when you first start, but my interest in cars has kept me going. That's what I love the most. I love working on cars. And when I think about doing anything else, it kind of makes me sad, honestly. So I just push myself forward and found a spot that I really like. So the team here supports each other and has kept me here and happy. I love working on Subarus.
Very cool. I mean, Jeff, one of the things I've heard across the board and a theme is just support and help. So can you talk to us a little bit about what you've tried to do in your department and some of the key things that you've tried to push forward as initiatives to really help this come to fruition for your techs?
We've had a very supportive owner that allows me the freedom to change pay plans, to compensate technicians. So part of what Roger and I have discussed and we've discussed is the deflection of staff, A, pay, B, lack of training, lack of recognition, lack of acknowledgement. It's amazing when I sat through these last 3 weeks of visiting other brands around the country, out of 150 stores, talking to people, how few of them really put the front and center of the fixed ops department on their website. How many of them put their staff pages and pictures up there and are willing to do things like this to bring exposure to the industry. I asked people that obviously from 15 years to 4 months, would you do this? And nobody batted an eyelash. And that's kind of what we do at the dealership level. I found out they're sending technicians to school, not us, that they make drive 3 hours to go to a class that's 8 hours long and drive home because the dealer doesn't want to put them in a hotel room.
Wow.
I mean, if I work there, absolutely not. They're better than that. They're our lifeblood of our business.
Yep.
And without them, I can turn the lights off in the office and go home. They don't build a perfect car yet. There's not a manufacturer out there including Tesla, that's built one that doesn't need stuff. and it's grateful to have the growth we've had from within. A lot of people start from express, move up the ladder, and we keep them. It's all about retention. That's the key to this panel, is how do we get them past that 18-month?
Yep.
How do we get them to, okay, yep, I can make a living, I can make a career. I'm going to work 5 days a week and have a life. So
yeah, I think, and one of the things that I've seen a lot as we've looked into this is just the level of appreciation and acknowledgement doesn't seem to always be there, with especially within this department. So I'd love to ask each of you, people are listening on this call, that we'd like them to go back and help their techs. What are some ways that they can how would you like to be acknowledged, and what are some things that they could do for you that would be, if you're a tech in a different dealership, that would make you feel appreciated? And let's see, Jordan, let's start with you.
I guess it's just the recognition. So for us, they really made sure to put a forefront the training of the younger guys, and that also had to come with compensation, because it is a full-time job of making sure that not only are they getting the right information and then executing correctly. The car leaves here and you've got to make sure that it is A-okay and not going to have any issues. So that takes a lot of time and patience, and it doesn't do anybody a good service if they're getting, partial attention paid, basically.
Yeah, I would say this is probably the one department where that's the most important, right? Is making sure that the vehicle is driving out safe and secure.
Right.
Yeah. Aaron, do you have anything to add to that in terms of like easy ways department managers who may be listening can really help make their techs feel appreciated?
Acknowledgement is a big thing. Say you go to training and you pass a class, don't just, oh, you passed the class, be like, hey, good job, shake your hand, actually come and talk to your tech about that and let them know how proud you are of them. Especially, plans as well, plans for, I don't want to say pay per se, but just coming to them and say, hey, you do this, we're looking to do this with you. Giving them something to look forward to is also big too when they're going to training and going to get the acknowledgement for it.
I love that idea, like showing a growth path, right? If you continue in this way, these will be the rewards that you'll be rewarded with in the future.
Correct.
Yeah, I love that. Brittany, do you have anything to add?
Incentives for pay are great.
Yes.
It really pushes people forward to continue to get their certifications. But as far as recognition goes, I think it's cool that we have awesome Christmas parties and we nominate MVPs. So that's a lot of fun. That's a great way to recognize your people.
Yeah, I love that idea. And I think what I'm hearing, and Jeff, you can jump in on this, these aren't really big, expensive things. Your wonderful texts are saying, we're looking for training opportunities, we're looking for growth, we're looking for recognition and appreciation. That's really what they're talking about. And so can you explain or talk to us a little bit about what are just some very easy ways that people listening can go back and do this today for their techs and their departments?
Well, today, if you start somebody today, they want their opinion voiced and heard and to be part of the team concept. But when they start today, they should have a 6-month plan. Technicians want, in the first 90 days, they want to be involved in training. They want to be able to dig their meat in a little bit and look at websites and learn about the brand and learn about whatever and start getting their feet wet, or they're just another number. And then where do you progress from there? And when do I go away to school? And then what do we do with tools? What do we do with when they're gone? We give them a car and a hotel room and spending money and zero problem sending people to school. And, that's my job as a leader, is make sure that the store is staffed with trained people. Now we've got some, Jordan last year was #1 VW tech in the country.
Congratulations. That's fantastic.
So there's recognition that some of the brands do that are above and beyond. Technician retention programs. VW has it. Subaru has it. Hyundai just came out with it. Some of the other brands don't. They're behind. It's not always the dealer. It's got to be bought into by the OEMs as well, where they invest in the future, because without the trained staff in front of us, the fix right first time goes down the hill, and Lori's car doesn't start in the driveway, and there's no technician available for 6 months to work on your car.
Right.
And that's when we've lost 500,000 or 600,000 technicians in the past 5 years. That's why it's critical to have an open door, to listen, to pay for their certification test. If they fail, you get them books, material, training, and you pay for it again. It's an investment. You're not spending money if you're getting it back. It's an investment, and you invest in every person that's on this panel to further the industry.
Yeah, and obviously to get the retention, because you have, a tech on here who's got more than 15 years with you, which is very rare in this space. So, yeah. Well, I want to turn just quickly to females, because females represent less than 1% right now, guys, of technicians, which is like mind-blowing. So, Rebecca, talk to us a little bit about, are there some ways you think that we can make this more look better to females entering? How can we help females that are coming into the space as technicians? 1% is just not good enough. We need to do better.
It definitely isn't. I think females coming into this need to understand that it's not special treatment. I mean, you're going to be treated just like everybody else. And I feel like a lot of people sugarcoat it, and they're like, oh, you'll be fine, and we kind of need to let them know that, hey, this is hard work. You are going to be on your feet for a certain amount of time a day, and don't just walk them in like, hey, you'll be fine. We're going to treat you a little bit differently. Just kind of group them together with everybody and let them know this is what's going to happen. And, like Victoria here, coming in, she has been amazing and number one on my team. And I've got 4 other guys, and she fits right in. And we kind of just from day one said, hey, this is what's happening. This is what's going to happen. And I think everybody kind of needs to do that. We treat females as this delicate little thing, and we're not.
Yeah.
We may not have everything that a man does, but we can do just as much.
Yes, I love that. And I hear that a lot. I work with women across numerous departments in the automotive space, and that, like, don't treat us like anyone else, just treat us like the rest of the team is probably the number one statement I hear the most across the board. And so let's go to Victoria. You are, again, like the newest, you're female. You kind of represent all the new things coming into the space, which are fantastic. What do you think we can do to attract more females into this role?
I agree with Becca a lot. We get treated differently a lot, and I think if we just get mixed in with the group and just get treated the same, then I think that works a lot. No special treatment. You want to be treated like everyone else. I think that really makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I agree. And Brittany, I love what you said about just loving cars. So I think, should we look for the women who are passionate about vehicles? I mean, what was it with you that made you enter this space? Just your love of fixing cars?
I love fixing everything. So I have a knack for it. Anything, really. But yeah, I mean, I went to school for this. I picked a career that I didn't have to go to college for 4 years. But once I started doing it, I just kept falling in love with cars more and more.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, this is an incredibly physical job. And if you're a woman coming into this industry and you want to be a technician, you have to understand that. I mean, I'm swinging hammers, sledgehammers, I'm pulling engines, I'm working with my hands and with my feet, moving around, I'm doing it all just like the guys do. So, if you're prepared and you love cars and that's what you want to do, then absolutely, there's no reason why you shouldn't come into this industry.
Yeah, I totally agree. Jeff, what do you think from a hiring standpoint? Are there certain things you look for across the board? Are there certain things women bring that men don't? Or is it just really like the love, like Brittany's saying, love and passion for cars?
Yes.
You're like, this is a loaded question.
I'd make it a point to hire the person and teach them the job.
Mm-hmm.
Male, female, it doesn't matter to me. Do I cater to anybody differently? No.
Mm-hmm.
This young lady picks up tires that weigh more than she does to complete the job on the car. Hasn't once said, hey, will you get this for me? Hasn't asked for special provisions. What I would love to see happen for women in the drive, let's put some female bathrooms and locker rooms in dealerships.
Yes.
So they don't have to knock on the door and say, hey, coming in to wash my hands. So I know there's some dealers that are building new facilities. We talked about this in California. I talked about it in South Carolina. How many people out of 93 raised their hands that said they've got a locker room specifically for females? Not one.
Wow.
It's hard to tell somebody go use the women's restroom where the employees where customers are walking in, and you've got grease dripping from your elbows. So those are some of I take my hat off because they've got a tougher road, not only learning the business that's been a guy business forever, but we've put so many roadblocks up there still to this day to make their job more difficult. Even something as simple as, I need to go wash my hands and go to the bathroom. Where do I go?
Yeah.
And those are, so it's amazing to be able to keep and retain staff and get somebody like Brittany ASE certified to where, I can handle anything. It doesn't matter what brand car, I know it's going to get fixed. I do the same thing with Jordan. Eventually I want to do that with Victoria. So you got to have a plan, you got to have a path, and you got to have a team that is willing to help everybody along the way. And it's not I, me, my. I don't want to hire that person because they might cut my hours. That's my job, is make sure everybody gets paid.
Right.
Make sure we've got the right team.
Well, and I think it's important to note that as we're talking about training and support and all of these, everyone has mentioned pay plans. So at the end of the day, these are still employees at our businesses. And so it's important to also financially compensate, so all of the tips and tricks and training is great. But at the end of the day, we're all doing a job. And so I think pay plans are a very, very big part of this, and using pay plans to ensure that we're showing we appreciate our employees. Yeah. Well, let's do one last lightning round, guys. We're almost out of time, but I want to hear from each of you. I'm going to start again with Jordan. I keep picking on Jordan because he's been around the longest. What would you say in the next 5 to 10 years we can do? This, I'm really putting you all in the hot seat. What in the next 5 to 10 years do you think we can do to really improve the technician experience? And it can really be anything. It can be things we've talked about or something way off the board that we haven't even looked at yet.
I think it all comes from the support, knowing that they're not going to be thrown into the deep end and that they're going to have the chance to build those skills. I've been doing it 15 years and I still learn new things every day, and sometimes from the new guys. So it's just one of those, you've got to put the time in, and they need to know that their time is going to be rewarded.
Yep.
The cars keep changing, so it's not like you figure it out and then you're good for the rest of your career. You got to keep learning, and that continuous learning is a big part of it. So
I love that. Aaron, what would you have to add to that?
I agree completely. I would also add that have plans with your employees as well as management. Mm-hmm. Even if you're at the max point, change with the economy how pay plans are done. Make sure you give your employees reviews on how they're doing, and make sure that they know that there's always room for improvement. Give them something to improve upon, and always give them something to look forward to in the future as well.
Yeah, I love what you said earlier about the growth path and how important it is to really see areas of growth for you as you move forward within the department and even outside of the department, but really a growth path within. I don't think enough of our leaders do that today, especially in the technician side of things. Sure. Brittany, what would you say?
There's a couple things that are pretty important to me. Vacation time is important, because I feel like in this industry, burnout can get real. Like I said, it is incredibly physical, and sometimes it gets stressful.
Yeah.
So, paid time off is important to me. And I also think that now that electric vehicles are coming out,
Yeah.
flat rate's going to have to change, unfortunately. I think that something's going to have to happen about that because we don't want to rush on these cars.
I think that's so valid. And that's a whole nother panel discussion. Is like, as these electric cars come, they're just so much more complex. And so I really appreciate that you brought that up. And again, we may have to come back with that discussion at a different time. Let's see, Victoria, what would you say?
Yeah, just continue broadening the support, making sure everyone has everything they need and feel treated the same, no one treated differently or anything. And yeah, a bathroom would be nice.
Yeah, in a bathroom, right? Let's be honest, a bathroom.
Yeah, what are you gonna have to walk all the way over to the customer area just to wash your hands or whatever? So that would be nice too.
Yeah. Boys and girls, if there's anything you can hear out of this, it's get a bathroom for the women. Okay. And we'll finish up with you, Rebecca. What would you have to say?
Just the support system. Make sure you have a solid support system. Make sure that if you say, okay, your end goal is B and they reach that, make sure there's more for them, because I don't want to plateau and then just be stuck. And I'm going to get bored. I really am.
Yeah.
And I just make sure that you have some place to go and room to grow, even if you hit that point.
I love that. And then Jeff, do you have any final thoughts?
Just the exodus happens between 12 and 18 months, which is typically when a technician starts to actually have to buy tools and has to buy a toolbox. And now the Snap-on guy is their favorite person when they come in every week and their paycheck is gone. So we need to look at seriously retention plans, tool programs, reimbursement for continued education, support staff if they're out for maternity leave or whatever. I mean, those are things that every other industry has. The automotive industry has said, nope, you buy your own tools, you go to work, you spend a lot more money, you buy more tools, you go to work, you buy more tools. Your doctor in a hospital doesn't have to buy the scalpel he's using.
Right.
I see that. But yet every technician in here has probably bought 50 10 millimeter sockets because they all go somewhere. I'm not sure where. Maybe it's Russia. I don't know. But they're going somewhere as a mass exodus, getting together. And tools are a big part of why, when Roger and I were talking, why do these people leave? Well, all of a sudden they buy a $5,000 toolbox with 2 sockets and a screwdriver in it.
Yeah.
That's not going to make them any money.
Right.
But let's get a basic starter set. Let's get them going in the program, get them trained, help them with some tool bills. The techs that already have tools, let's help them financially.
Wow.
Perfectly said, right, Ted? I mean, look at this panel. So impressive.
Everybody, I took a lot of notes, and Jeff, some of the most basic and fundamental things. We talk in the industry about why are there not more, women as techs, yet to not have a restroom, right? I mean, how fundamental, right, is that? And what is the message that that we're sending there, right? So, we've had a number of techs on the show this time, and that's a hard job. We've had techs actually show us their hands and say, you know what? Once I go behind that dashboard, there's a lot of sharp objects. There's a lot of, I put myself at risk every day for who? For the customer, right? And Marcos Wanenberg did a post just last week, Lori, on LinkedIn, and he had thousands and thousands of likes and comments where he said, "Hey, to the customer, I'm here to work on your vehicle. Please understand, I don't want to have your vehicle wait for parts. I want to get your vehicle done. Okay, and being a technician is a hard job. So you've brought a lot of things to light here, and we're going to invite you all back, and let's work on these things. And I think a lot of folks watching this are taking good notes, Lori. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, I've heard the themes of training, pay plan, growth, growth routes and bathrooms, guys, bathrooms.
There you go.
And also, what Brittany, one of the things you were on the show, late last year. We're hearing also culture at the dealership. So it's not always about the money. It's there's a lot of other things. To respect our employees and to make them a part of the community, because the technician is the one putting those hours out, Jeff. Right? So
Right.
great stuff. Great stuff, everybody. I want to thank you all so much for being here. Maple Hill Auto Group. Jeff Daniel, thank you so much, Jeff, for all you do for the industry as well. Great leader. And Lori Halter, thank you for moderating and helping put this together. And Roger Conant, wherever you are, thank you so much.
Absolutely. In the background.
Support your techs, everybody. Thank you all here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.